Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Legit Crypto. I'm always excited for these live streams, but I'm especially excited today because I'm going to be chatting with Aries from Sprout Marketing. Myself and the Cat Cartel Hoodie team just started working with Aries and his team, and it's been like awesome over the past couple weeks as we've gotten started. But more than that, Aries is really an exceptional entrepreneur in the space, and his approach to not only personal branding, but really helping drive a lot of value through not only his X channel, but in other areas has really impressed me, and that's why I wanted to get him on, have a conversation with him, and do it live. So, you can listen in as well. So, all right, let me just bring Aries up on the screen, and we can jump in. Dude, I've been excited all week for this conversation, so thanks for making some time. I know it's a little late there in Bali, right?
Yeah, it's about 11:30, but thank you so much for having me up here. I'm super excited.
Yeah, man. We've like I don't know, over the last week we've kind of gotten to know each other just a little bit as we've kind of kicked off some of the marketing stuff we've been doing for Hody, and I wanted to talk to you and understand a little bit of just how you got into what you're doing now, and like what was the catalyst for you being like, all right, dude, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm just gonna go for it. Like, was there a pivotal person in your life or some event, or like how'd you find yourself here?
Yeah, entrepreneur, that goes back a while outside of Web3. And so I guess like if we're gonna go all the way back, it was when I was 16 years old. And actually, I mean, I was doing some smaller stuff kind of since I've grown up, but 16 is where it really changed. I was in a all about money class in school actually, which is
Mm-hmm.
interesting because school doesn't teach you this sort of stuff, but it was one of those like extracurricular classes, and they're teaching us compound interest and all that, and the stock market. And so I started to look into it myself, and that was right around the COVID crash, and so
Mm.
all the stocks went down a huge amount, and I was working like this part time job, and I ended up saving up like $5,000, and I just got into the first stocks, and like the next year was just like everything green because it's everything went back up after the COVID crash. I was like, I'm 16 years old making so much money. I thought I was so cool, and it was going really well. And yeah, I was just like, I should get out of school. I'm making more than my teachers. And then it finally went down. And,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about taking losses or any of the bad side of it because it was a great market running up there. And so I like just kind of stuck there and took losses for like months. And then after that, it was like a big losing streak for the next 2 years outside of stocks. I tried pretty much everything. I jumped into crypto right after and it crashed. And so I
Mm-hmm.
lost like more than what I made. I was in the negatives now. I tried like Forex, got scammed a little bit with that, bunch of different trading stuff. And then really, I got out of that for a while, out of the whole trading world. And I still don't do trading a lot anymore. I think I'm pretty bad at it. I'm a little bit too emotional with that sort of stuff. And so, especially, I did crypto leverage trading for a little bit, and
Really?
the bad type, like the gambling type. Let's do
Yeah.
50x leverage.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
so I had to get out of that world, um, and from there I started a landscaping business, and so it's still mostly all Web 2. Um, did that with a couple friends. Didn't work a job for a little bit. I'm still 17, 18 years old, and then late 18, well, actually, when I was 18 years old, I started my first NFT project. It was a GameFi PDE project. Was horrible at it. I was 18 years old without any money, no experience, and so it was about 2 years of like trying to push it. Maybe we got like 10, 20 real community members, and got scammed by marketers myself. Tried everything and nothing really worked. And so I eventually just had to shut that down before we could develop the game or do anything with it. Um, and then from that experience, I got a spot at a Web3 marketing agency doing
Mm-hmm.
kind of what we're doing now, but just the basic part of creating content for projects, um, yeah, doing all their engagement. I was pretty much a full social media manager. And so
That's
I did
cool.
that for about 6 months. It
Hmm.
was like my first taste at remote work and making money online consistently outside of like trading and that sort of thing.
Where were you
And
living at that
so
point? Because I know you're in Bali right now. Or were you in Bali at that point in your life, or were you somewhere else?
yeah, it was right in the middle of that switch. And so I came to Bali from Canada, where
Hmm.
I've was born and grown up, and I was looking for the online job to move out of Canada. And so once I got that, I pretty much left to Bali, and
Hmm.
about a month later, 2 months later, I quit my only source of online income, just as I got like my first online marketing client as well.
Hmm.
And so I started my own agency with all the skills I learned, pretty much a agency one man employee, and I just started doing all that work. And for the past year, it was just like, yeah, it was really up and down. It was a lot of like trial and error, delivering bad services, trying to learn the market, how to run a business, and it didn't really
Hmm.
take off till like I'd say the last like 4 to 5 months of 2024 when I started
Hmm.
building my personal brand alongside it. I'd say that was
Really?
a really big catalyst for sure. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. It doesn't surprise me at all, dude. I mean, we had the X Space earlier today on your channel, and that was kind of the big topic of conversation. And yeah, like personal branding and being able to leverage that as an asset to build credibility and trust and gain clients, just a game changer. That's crazy though, that like it's really not that long ago where you made that switch, dude. And then just it sounds like it's been going rather well from there.
Yeah, I mean it was still under 2 years ago. Yeah, it was about a year and a half ago I came to Bali. And that was, I mean, changing my location, the people I was around, the work I was doing, everything was it was a complete lifestyle switch. And it was, yeah, a
Yeah.
catalyst for a ton of growth.
What I know you were working at that like the marketing agency. Have you always been drawn to just marketing in general? Because you seem to have like a pretty damn good aptitude for it in terms of like how you think about it. Is that something that just feels like it's been coming natural to you, or is it something that you've really just tried to like learn and hone your skills at over the course of the past like whatever, you know, year, let's say?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I would say not so much like there's so much to marketing, right? Like there's advertising, there's SEO, there's a ton of things to marketing and content. I would say more it came from the source of like building a community,
Hmm.
and even that came down to when I was running landscaping and building a relationship with the clients that I would mow their lawns for. It's that sort of same relationship with your community. That's the same as when I had the GameFi project, and
Hmm.
I had, we're not like a big game, and there's so much competition in that space, right? But people were still drawn to the idea and the vision, and it was creating that sort of cult, which was the yeah, that sort of like relationship with people. And so it wasn't so much like marketing, but more like being with a community one on one and kind of building off that, which I found a passion for. And yeah.
Dude, honestly, man, it's one of my favorite things about my own journey into crypto is just the community aspect of it.
Mhm.
There's something so rewarding about it, sometimes stressful, but like ultimately seeing people come into my own community or going into other communities and getting to know people that are genuine, forming connections and relationships is like, I don't know, in my opinion, one of the silver linings to this, especially like the like degen crypto space, where there's a lot of awful shit, and so I think the communities and those sorts of friendships that can be fostered through projects or interests is like one of those things that for me it's like, I certainly continue to come back to that when either the market's red and like my emotions are getting the best of me, or like whatever is happening. It's like I can always kind of come back and use that as a baseline to feel better about the time and energy spent in kind of in these
Mhm.
realms. So it's cool.
Totally.
That's it's kind of been your take in how you've built your marketing agency to focus on more of that like community driven, organic growth sort of marketing strategies. Do I have that right? Does that sound kind of what you've been focused on?
I think that's what the space is missing. Yeah, that was kind of the selling point that I wanted to go off of when I first started my marketing agency was building it from like the first 100 community members, and then you have that foundation built and you can go off there instead of doing, let's dump a ton of money into KOLs, and see, let's just gather all their audiences and hope that they buy our product. um, while it can work when it's accompanied with a strong community, I don't think that's the way that's sustainable long term.
Yeah.
um, and so yeah, that's definitely where I started from, for sure. Yeah.
Dude, have you ever read that book or listened to the book? I don't know if you're a listen or a read kind of guy. Um, it's like 100 True Fans. Have you ever heard of that book?
I haven't, no. I need to
It's
read
a
more books. I've only read like one since I got to Valley, actually.
Dude, I don't read shit. I listen to books. I can listen all day long. That one's a really good one, dude, because it basically talks a lot about what you had just mentioned, where the whole premise is, so much of what we want to do is like, have millions of customers, clients, subscribers, whatever. But this whole like premise is like just focus on like the first 100. Like you want to get 100 like true fans, and that's your foundation. Um, Really quick, I want to give everyone like in the chat and live stream just a quick second. I'll come back to you guys in a minute, but Aries, I know he has some food about to be delivered. I just want to check in with you. Do you have food sitting by the door you want to go grab?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, they already did the delivery.
All
I'm
right,
gonna grab that
go
quickly.
get your food.
I'll be I'll be
I'll
back.
uh I'll fill some time here. So you guys, what we're gonna do is where is this? We're going to do a little bit of a Q&A round as it relates to marketing and these sorts of things for your project. So if you're running your own meme coin project, crypto project, or you're on a team and you have any questions about marketing, community growth, and things of that nature, definitely like go through, drop them in the chat. I'm going to be going through and like kind of starring some of the best questions so that later in the live stream when Aries and I do a little bit of that live Q&A, we'll bring your question up. We can answer them both from kind of his perspective being kind of more the marketing strategist, and then my own perspective having been kind of building out a community and a project over the past, year now. Hody literally turned 1 year old on Tuesday, the 8th. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy that it's been a year. Like time flies, and at the same time, damn it, it feels like such a long time ago. All right, dude, you got your food?
Yeah, I got it. We're all
Sweet.
good.
Um, Anyways, definitely, dude. Check out that book. The other thing that I wanted to like just have a conversation with you about, and we were kind of talking a little bit about this on X, but dude, the AI product that you've been building in the background sounds really cool. I actually want to hear a little bit more about that. Like what I understood of it is it's an AI engine to help you create content rather than necessarily create content for you. Do I have that right, or can you kind of fill me in a little bit more?
Y- Yeah, yeah. I mean, it creates content for you, but you kind of create the content with it. So it's a chatbot, but it's like layers to the chat. And so it would be, it goes over like what sort of post is it going to be? Like, is it I guess what the post is going to do to the person reading it. Is it like an engaging post, or is it a story, or you're trying to get them to DM you or something like that? And so, and then you give it the idea. Generally, you have to like give it the idea or ask it for help creating an idea with you, sort of thing. I don't think it should fully do the ideas itself. And then yeah, it pretty much, we're building like a really fine tune, it's an all-in-one AI platform, and so there's resources, there's a content calendar that you can use. There's a bunch of other features, but
Hey,
the
dude, what's
main
it
part is
called?
the AI.
What's it called? I want to bring it up on the screen.
Xcoach.ai.
Oh, Xcode. That's what it is. Dude,
Yeah, yeah.
nice. Yeah, I forgot. I'm just gonna bring this on screen so people can see it as well. So, dude, that sounds really cool. And so essentially, I see exactly what's going on. This is in
Yeah.
beta, yeah? Yeah.
So it's live now, but we need to kind of manually let people in. If you create your account, there's like glitches, bugs, it's not working. The actual platform is hopefully getting launched next week. It's been like there's dev issues that keep popping up, but it's like so close to being finished. Um, yeah, it's pretty much done, and it's going to go out with like a ton of new features. The whole platform is going to be fully on code, so it's going to run really quick, not on any like Framer or third party sites like that. And yeah, I'm super excited for it to fully get launched, and yeah, and so our
Yeah.
NFT holders, they're going to get free. They get free lifetime access to this, and they also get rewards from the revenue that it generates.
Oh, dude, that's really cool. I didn't even know that you had some sort of like NFT connection to it. That's actually a really interesting way to kind of think about your NFT collection as it relates to this business and like tie kind of like the Web3 component back to like this kind of Web2 SaaS component, right? That's
Yeah, yeah,
that's pretty.
yeah. That was the goal with this one. Was I mean, the market's not always going to be nice, and it definitely isn't now. And so it's good to have some sort of business model outside of that as well. And so we do have a Web3 SaaS product as well, but this one's Web2 fully. And I mean, there's a ton of personal brands of agencies, founders all over LinkedIn that want to come over to X and vice versa. And so yeah.
Dude, one of the things like, so I think I've told you, so I have my own AI product that I've been building out, Awesome AI, which is different from what you've been building. It's more of like a chat agent for your website. Um, one of the things that I've had a challenge with is, especially kind of building a SaaS product in the AI space, is just how fast AI is moving and being able to keep that pace up as kind of like a bootstrapped product startup just trying to like find product market fit and you just continue to figure things out. Like how have you found like in building this product just keeping up with the pace that AI is, charging forward at?
It's an interesting one. Like we've seen two almost like replicant pretty much products get released as we're developing ours, and by people with either much bigger audiences or they just put it out quicker. And so we're getting the base product out there, and then it's really just going to be staying ahead of the curve. And so developing it faster, having features that they don't have. I think that's playing in the AI space. Everyone's going to have to kind of play like that. I think there's, yeah, it just moves so fast that you need to constantly update your product and have a really unique angle for sure.
Yeah, dude. Well, either way,
It
man,
also,
I go for it.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's also great that there's competition because it means there's a market for it, and so and they definitely don't have the whole market, and so yeah, it tells you that there's buyers there. Like one of these products, they got identical to ours within the first like month or two. They brought it to like 300K annual recurring revenue, and
Nice.
so and I mean they're not hitting all the market for sure. Um, and so I mean yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think it means that there's buyers there, and yeah, there's people that you can replicate.
It's really interesting. Like regardless of bringing a product fully to market, one of the things that I've really kind of taken a step back as it relates to like the AI space, even this crypto space, and building this project out is like, there's obviously a lot of talk in like the news. I'm sure you've heard like, oh, AI is going to take your job, and AI is doing this, and AI is doing that, and regardless of what ends up happening, kind of in the greater scheme of you know our professions, the one thing that I've really tried to like think about is like, okay, well, this is obviously already here and it's inevitable. It's just going to be more pervasive throughout like what we do. So like I want to learn more about it, and like building product where you're actually not only just like using AI as like an end user, but you're actually like building with it in mind. I think is just one of those things that like even if my product or anything just ends up, just slowly dying, it's well worth the learning and education that I've been able to get just actually building something with it, not just using it.
Mhm.
So I'm excited about it, dude. I'm excited when I see new tools like this and like what other people are starting to do with it, because it's just, I don't know, it's like this whole new like era that we're in of possibility when it comes to tech that, I don't know. It's like the genie is popping out of the bottle and like, what can we do with this?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. It's exciting, especially since it's a completely different business model than I'm used to, and so it's a good learning experience. And it's yeah, it's a journey for sure. It's like learning how to walk again, and so I'm excited for it. I think it's a good, yeah, just being able to succeed in multiple different like business models is something else. People really struggle with that, and so I'm yet to, but we'll see when we launch it and how well we're able to grow it.
Totally. Um, when we were on the X Space, earlier this morning, one of the things that I wanted to get your take on, because you were asking the question is like, how are you using AI in kind of like your system or your business? How much do you use voice AI right now? Like whether it's with Grok or even like voice chat on ChatGPT, do you use it at all?
I don't right now. I've used it once, and it was like, yeah, it was like not for business. But no, I don't really use it at all. I find just like it's kind of slow, and it's like I like just being able to see back on the chat, especially if I'm using it for business. I'm copy pasting, pulling stuff around. But I've seen people use it before, kind of like as they're working beside them. But no, I don't use it that much.
You know what? Here's one thing that is like it would be worth an experiment, and I'd love to like get your take on this. But one of the things um, that I started to use it for, because I was like, dude, what's the use case here? Like, I don't understand. I mean, sure, in like the consumer stuff where you have like a AI girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, but like, it's obviously not my use case. But what I started doing, whether I'm like driving or I'm like walking my dog around the neighborhood, I started to use the voice AI chat as a way to ideate or like think through a problem or a marketing solution or a product feature. And I would just talk to it like casually as if I was brainstorming with a buddy, not to get like the answer. But what I found is that actually in just that natural conversation, kind of like that you and I are having, it was able to like pull new, ideas out of me and almost having like a sounding board. So I don't know, this is one of those like use cases of using AI within kind of a business system or a practice that I've actually found pretty darn useful.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. I think that's a pretty good way to go about it. I think the issues I had with it is it's nonstop. You can't tell it like stop or pause or anything. Or if you're like speaking a little bit slowly, it'll like cut you off and start loading what it has to say. And so there's some
Yeah.
small stuff like that instead of just like if it was just always on, let's say while you're working, you want to say like, hey ChatGPT, write this down or something, or remind me about this later. I think that would be super cool if you can like turn it on and off, kind of like hey Siri or your Google Assistant to turn off your lights. Something like that would be a really powerful way to use it. But I mean, yeah, that totally works great for when you're on the move and whatnot.
Yeah, dude. So, anyways, that's been my kind of experience with it so far, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for whatever happens with like AGI. I don't know if you follow that at all. Like that shit's kind of scares me, but it excites me at the same time.
Let me see that. I think I've heard of it, but
What artificial general intelligence? Have you heard that term?
I haven't, not yet. No.
Well, okay, we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but you have to check this out. But essentially, that it's the big race, to get to artificial general intelligence, where essentially the premises is AI becomes sentient, meaning like it it's practically indistinguishable from, talking and or conversing with a human. So it's like super sci-fi, but like I know that from just kind of being in the space, like if we're not already there, which I think we are, it's very close, and that is going to be just bananas when it becomes more of a consumer product.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just searched it up. That's a little bit scary though. That's
I
the
know it is, dude. Like
yeah.
it's
I
crazy.
think that's what Elon was like a while ago trying to go against, where he's like starting a fund to stop AI. Um,
Yeah,
I think it's at the point though where you can't really stop it, and so yeah, that's scary though. Yeah, wow.
yeah, dude. Um, all right, let's. I want to move back into like just some of the like the crypto stuff. Um, so as far as like kind of your focus with Sprout and the agency, like have you found yourself more gearing towards companies, products, projects in the Web3 space? Like, do you find most of your enjoyment there, or is it kind of a broad range of the clientele that you're working with?
It's been entirely crypto. Every
Okay.
single client, all the I think like with content, you have to be in the niche to create content around the niche, and so we haven't tried or yeah, gotten any clients outside crypto. Man, I
What are
need to
some?
get me a Hody sticker for my water bottle. That's sweet. Put it on
I might
my
have, I
stick
might
one
have
on my
some of those
mug.
floating around.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, it's been fun, man. I like the crypto space is really really interesting, especially from the marketing angle because I got to imagine like there's just because of how crypto is structured, with having tokens that are kind of instantly investable. It's it's such a weird thing. And I was talking to my other buddy just the other day. His name is Amateo. He does marketing for an AI crypto company called Masa, and he and I were just talking about just like how marketing has to be like always on for the most part, and how much it impacts a token's market cap, and just how they're actually perceived in the market. And much of that perception really has to do with the charts, which is just a crazy thing, to be a company building legitimate product in a space and be kind of under the thumb of, the perception of what the chart looks like, which is which is wild. So
Yeah, I think honestly, depending on the project, but like most of the utility projects and whatnot, I think like a token's one of the worst things you can do. And you fall into that perception, and you've people like you're building something real, and they're like, but your chart's down 80% because they're not so good at marketing, but maybe everyone uses the product itself. And so I think like sure, meme coins and communities and games and things where it's really consumer focused, tokens are pretty good there, and it's a great way to fractionalize and have people kind of dip their toes in the sense that they're more active because they have something to lose. But yeah, like the utility products and whatnot, and especially I mean, there's tokens launched for like SaaS products as well, and it's like those are it's already revenue generating. You're solving
right.
an issue. You're creating like the token almost seems like an exit strategy, and most of the time it is for the VCs to get a bunch of money and kind of step out of the project, or yeah, to get like a bunch of hype around the TGE and whatnot leading up, and then no one hears about you after. And so I don't really think that they're a good idea. I think it's much better to take a traditional investment route, or if you're able to raise through a community, that's the best look for sure. And
Yep.
you have a marketing backing you, you have people to push you, as well as the funds that you raise, instead of like through a VC that's going to send you money and sit in the back. And so um, yeah, I'm kind of against tokens for certain products, and I think we've seen that a lot with projects extracting more through doing a token.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre, especially like you said, a revenue generating SaaS business that has a token, but the token has like either no utility, it just exists. So if like the product, utilized the token, like you actually needed the token to make use of the product in some way, shape, or form, meaning like, great, if I buy it here and I can use it for a gas fee or whatever it is, right, within the product, that makes a lot more sense in my opinion. But like, hey, we're a company and now we got a token, but like it is what it is. It always makes me kind of second guess a little bit. So, but it's the trend, man. Like I'm seeing it all over the place.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. It's I mean they don't attach it to the product in any shape or form. And I mean if you did have, let's say, a portion of the revenue coming out of it going into the token, it's not going to cause a lot of volume, at least to do anything serious unless your product's like making a huge amount. And so it's like, yeah, it's just like speculation attached to the product, unlike stocks or something that are much more attached to the company. But yeah, no, it's an interesting topic for sure.
Um, Dude, I wanna switch gears a little bit, back to a post that I saw you do on X. I don't know. This is probably like a few weeks ago. But one of the things that you were mentioning on your post was about building a team, right? And like delegating. It, how have you done that? Like how have you thought about your own kind of team and system for Sprout? And like how's that experience been for you?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I always had a really hard time with it, especially when I was just running an agency. And even if I hired people, I would want to micromanage everything. And I'm kind of like a perfectionist where I need to see the content going out. I still want to do all the strategies so that I know the project. And so I still do that a lot of times. But yeah, it was really a trouble for some time. And then, I mean, now we're running 6 verticals, two of them being like stuff like we have a media handle over on Abstract and like the NFT project, which is just based off of our other products that we're building. And so they're not really time intensive instead of
Hmm.
just chatting with the community and keeping them updated. But half of well I've had a couple of like teammates and one co-founder is people that I coached previously. They're coaching clients. And
Okay.
so the hiring process was learning how they work and seeing how motivated they are to do things. And then it's like, hey, I'm either building something or the way you work and your experience would work really good on the team. And then we've kind of collaborated in that way, and that's been really powerful. The other thing has been, I mean, there's kind of things that I check off if I actually like the person. I think they're super cool. They're not just like not hiring for skills, but like hiring for someone that's driven and that I'm cool chatting with every single day on team calls. And so it's been hiring for like people, but also trying to empower people. And so in like the venture studio model that we do, I'll see like someone that has an idea or they're about to build something, and we'll pretty much come in and give them a ton of support through the studio and bring on our team to help them build it. And they'll do the majority of like the management and the actual building it, and just come to me for advice and support and whatnot. And then we split it 50-50, and there's a ton of growth on both sides. And so I think those sort of that way of delegating has been much more powerful. Assigning people that I really trust and kind of letting them do their thing and not trying to fit them in a role, kind of assisting them with whatever they're best at. Um, and so yeah, that's been the biggest thing for me for sure.
Yeah, dude, I feel you. Like the whole wanting to do it yourself, wanting to do it like your way and right is like one of the like biggest pitfalls of kind of early entrepreneurship growth. I have been there, and I still battle with it myself, but yeah, dude, like it's good, man. You've learned it early. Like the way to really make it happen and not drive yourself crazy is like finding good people that can like have the sort of mindset and work mentality that you can just kind of let them autonomously like do their thing and trust. Dude, it's absolutely the way to go. um,
Mhm.
And
I think,
yeah, don't nickel and dime them.
yeah.
You want those people to stick around.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's also like team culture takes a long time to build. I had the first person, the first teammate that stayed with us for a year. And so I mean, especially in this space, been a lot of onboarding, offboarding. This person gets lazy after a month sort of thing. And so um there's a lot of like up and downs with like hiring, and hiring takes a lot of energy. And so yeah, having the first person to really stick around, and it's to that point where they can fully handle like communication, and they I don't have to ask them to do, they know what they're supposed to do and how they contribute. And so yeah, that sort of thing takes time to build. I don't think there's any sort of shortcuts there. It's a relationship. And yeah, there's that sort of thing I think everyone faces with early stage startups, because it's just something that takes time out of anything.
Yeah,
You're not going to. It's like if you have a partner, you're not getting married in the first month.
yeah, totally. Yeah, it's the biggest thing, man. I've learned lessons the hard way sometimes, is that relationship, especially like a co-founder sort of relationship, much less some of your like primary employees. Like you treat that like you're getting a girlfriend, man, because it can really like tank a vibe of a company and just take it down if you really don't do it the right way. And like you said, onboarding is expensive, dude, from a time and energy standpoint. So you want to really make sure that you're bringing the right people on. And it sounds like you got some
Mhm.
good people. So I think you using kind of your coaching as like an entry point to like really qualify people was super smart move. That's cool. I didn't know you actually
Yeah.
coached as well, like more in the personal development space or the business
Um,
development space.
yeah, yeah. It was so I never actually planned to. I'm not coaching them to hire them. It's just like after it happened, things kind of aligned. It's
Yeah.
interesting because two out of three, actually don't know one of my co-founders' age, but two out of three of them are like 18, 17, and 18 years old. So they're even
Really?
younger than me, but they're
That's
like
awesome, dude.
developing the whole platform, or they're doing all the content and stuff. It's really great. And so, um, shoot, where was I going with that? I've had so many mind blanks on the space, and now this as well. But yeah, no, the with the co-founders, it's like being able to coach them first and just seeing who they are as people. That was kind of the biggest thing. The majority of them is like either people that want to start doing exactly what I'm doing, so social media marketing or whatnot. There's a lot of people outside of Web3, like Web2 personal brand coaches that want to now start an agency, or they want to start doing ghostwriting. There's kind of like a pyramid on MoneyX, if you've kind of been in that space before, where they coach people how to build a personal brand, and then they coach other people how they got their first 500 followers, and it's this loop. And none of them really make a lot of money, and they're all kind of pushing each other and getting the same amount of money off of each other. And
I know, dude. I
yeah,
know exactly what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah. And so they're trying to get out of that. They're trying to like ghostwriter, work with businesses, and do something a bit more fulfilling and retaining. And that's kind of what I was coaching some people on. I've done like maybe four or five people. And then I also did a free 30 people for 30 days cohort, and just trained a bunch of people for fun. They all learned a bunch. Some people got some really crazy results. And yeah.
That's cool. Do you enjoy it? Like, did you enjoy doing the coaching? Is it something
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
like
do.
you would want to do in the future, or is it just kind of like, hey, if the right person comes along, then cool, but it's not really something you're trying to like build into a business?
It's not something I actively sell. No, it's kind of just like it just lines up with the right people. But I do enjoy it if they take use of it. And so it's something that I try to qualify, but still people will, like, some people will pay money and don't end up listening to me and don't get anything done. And we jump on our next call next week, and they're like, yeah, I'm still working on that. Or no, I didn't do that amount of outreach every day. And those people I don't really like working with, because of course they still paid, but it's like I want to see them go somewhere, and that's motivating to like I get a text like, man, I just landed a client, or this and
Yeah,
that. And
totally.
so like I've had some people where their lives change. Like first 5 days of coaching, they get like their first client, and they're from a third world country, and it's like insane for them. And then I've had also other people where they haven't even taken the last call that they paid for because they went off. Oh, I got school. We'll do it later.
Yeah.
Which is yeah, they lose all their motivation, and it's like those people don't end up. Yeah, they can't stick it through, but is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good on you, man. Good on you for wanting to like share a little bit of your working knowledge and pass that on, because it's important, especially if you can do it from a place of integrity and like just really help kind of people grow and excel. Hey, dude,
Mhm.
I got a couple questions. I got one question I want to bring up from Thurman. Do you know Thurman? I mean, I think that's one of the
I,
ways we connected. Is that right?
that is the way we connected.
Amazing.
I think he's in my community. Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Before let me double check.
Thurman
Yeah,
asks,
he is.
what are the benefits and drawbacks you have both observed from publicly revealing your identities in crypto? I'd love to know kind of what your thoughts are. I mean, you're here with me. Obviously, you've been kind of sharing your own face and personal brand in the crypto space. Yeah, what's one benefit and one drawback you've experienced?
I don't think I've really experienced any drawbacks yet. I don't think I've built a big enough audience where people maybe at like I've had some people actually in crypto conferences where they're like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen your face before. Or they're like they add me on Telegram and then they're like, wait, I've seen your content before. And that's really cool, but that's not a drawback. More so just like getting noticed in public, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Uh,
Yeah,
Only just benefits, really. Just building a community, getting more clients, having more authority when you approach people, and it's not a random person with a AI profile picture. And I'd say, yeah, it's only benefits, really.
nice. Yeah, I'd say mostly benefits on my end too. I think showing my face and creating videos and doing these sorts of live streams, it's only helped me build deeper connections with people, whether that's people in the community. It's probably helped me foster and grow the communities that I'm building as well, much larger than I could have ever if I was just some kind of anonymous PFP. So that's like some of the major benefits, along with just trust, right? Especially like in this like sketchy as hell degen meme coin sort of territory, which I've been venturing in. Is like there's just so little trust and credibility with everything that's happened over the course of the past however many years. So showing up, showing my actual face has really helped kind of me build that trust in the community. I think the biggest drawback on my side, especially creating content on YouTube, and is you put yourself out there to the trolls. And I think that, like anyone trying to build a large audience, you're always going to have like some small percentage of trolls that are just like unhappy people in life that have nothing better to do with their time than like leave mean comments or whatever. And I mean, it's not so much like a drawback, but I would be lying to you if I said like it didn't suck occasionally. But it just kind of comes with the territory. But other than that, it's like that's the only other drawback, which isn't really a big drawback compared to like the benefits that I've experienced.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think with any financial product, especially, those sort of people come up. I remember like when we were doing our NFT mint, um, and abstract did really bad the first couple days because there's not that much liquidity going over. First couple of projects are under mint price, so it's automatically like, oh, don't mint any of the next ones. And so we set up really well, and then we didn't get set up very well, and stuff happened. We had to cut the mint supply a little bit. Still ended up selling it out, and then yeah, but there's just people that are like scammers or like, oh,
Right.
make it a free mint now or else you're doomed. And it's like it like it doesn't matter. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing regardless, and build. But people are just like, yeah, it shows the type of mindset that they have, that they're there to flip it for 2 to 4x and then move on.
Yeah.
Um, but that sort of stuff happens. I feel like though you're the first meme coin dev that I've seen like fully. Like I've had chats with other meme coin devs and they'll show their face on the call, but like on social media that are fully showing themselves and have their personal brand attached outside of a NFT PFP.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Well, like I said, I saw like an interesting opportunity here, and I hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. I don't think it will, but like we talked about, like just being able to like build that personal brand and credibility can just change the game. I mean, it's how I built my other businesses, and that's been really successful. So like, why wouldn't it be successful here as well?
Mhm.
Dude, we're kind of getting towards the end of the live stream here, but I just got one question since you brought up the NFTs. So if you were to kind of rewind, since you've launched your own NFT, if you were to like kind of rewind and like go back pre-launch, like what would you have done differently in like releasing and kind of getting an NFT out to the world um, with your own project? Is there anything that you would do
Yeah,
differently?
yeah. I mean, the chain's great now. I would say honestly, it would just be delaying it a bit better until the vibe's great. The vibes
Mm,
weren't great, but we still launched it anyways. And yeah, of course, it didn't do too well. And so if we waited like maybe another 2 weeks for for just like the first project that did well before us, not be the first person to test the water, then it would be a little bit more better. I feel like also doing there wasn't we didn't do too many spaces. I think doing more spaces, doing more connecting one on one would definitely be the best. What worked really well and what I would do again would be like always being in the chat, being on social media as the founder, like fully being on it so people always see you. And a lot of people said that's what kind of drew them in is when they see you one on one. When I did like videos of myself explaining how to bridge over and mint the NFT, and they
yeah.
can kind of get the tutorial from you. And so doing that sort of stuff would be, I would triple down on that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super smart. Dude, even as I've like kind of gone through the last year with Hody and like building out the community of that, like when I've gone on vacation or just had like life stuff come up, because like a lot can happen in a year, and like having to like step back from the community and not be as present for just life stuff, uh, it really makes a huge difference. Like being there, even if it's just quick. I've had a lot of people in my own community just mention the importance of it, which I totally get. It makes a ton of sense. Um, all right, I got one more quick question. Actually, I don't, but there's a good question in the chat that I think we can end the live stream on. So I just want to bring this one up because I think it's a pretty good one, and then we can wrap this. So, um, Akaza X says, "What do you look for, or how do you build long-term relationships with top OGs in the space?" So,
Cool. And so is that top OGs like people in the crypto space or in your community? We might need that a little bit.
I would guess like in the crypto space as a whole. That's my
Yeah,
guess as far as his question.
yeah, for sure. That's an interesting one. I think the very top people, they have a very status about them, and they're hard to approach and contact as well. I think you need to get introduced through a friend a lot of the times, and so it's kind of moving up a pyramid of connecting with someone, and then they'll connect you with another person. It's definitely you have to approach them with like value or something genuine. If you're just going to go to them and instantly ask for something, it's going to get shut down immediately. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, definitely like getting yourself out there more will bring them to you, honestly. Like I've hosted spaces with a ton of different influencers now and posted content that has people DMing me, oh, I really love this, or something like that. And I think, yeah, building your personal brand makes you kind of look like them in a way. And so if you have 100 followers and a picture of like a sunset as your PFP, they're probably not going to answer you. But if you've kind of built up a bit of a reputation, if they see you're followed by people they're following, that's the biggest thing. They see like 10 people they follow you as well, then that's going to be an instant indicator. Like this is a somebody. This is and they'll be more open to what you have to say. But yeah, I would say it's the way you present yourself and what you're coming to them for.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't agree more. One of the things that like I do and I appreciate as people try to reach out to me is when they engage with my content in a way that's authentic, not shilly or not just I need something. And I try to do that myself with people that I respect, in the industry that like either I follow. It's like if they post something, or like I'll ask them a general question to just engage with them, but not from a place of like I need something or do this for me or hey look at me. And I've actually had a good amount of success just starting to like build those relationships over time, step by step. And I mean, that's what we're all looking for. We're just looking for people that aren't needy or trying to like take stuff from us. Rather, we're just looking for people that, we have similar interests and or, really want to provide value without the expectation of like, okay, I did this for you, now you do this for me. But it's a really good question. And that approach is something that takes a lot of time. So, but you're
Definitely.
right, man. Like it's a stepping stone approach to making those sorts of connections that takes some time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
All right, dude.
awesome.
I this is my last personal question for you. I love ending with this question, and then we'll say our goodbyes. So this is more of a personal question for you, and it's a total curveball. Are you down with a curveball question?
I'm down for it.
All right,
I'll
cool.
try to answer it.
All right. If you could place a billboard anywhere in the world for one day only, where would you place it and what would it say on it?
Oh, geez. You got to tell me these in advance so I can
No
I can
way,
think of
dude.
an answer.
No way. It's just like
Um,
first thing comes to your mind. This is the beauty of this question.
yeah, I mean, first thing that comes to mind would be like Times Square, love yourself more, something like that.
Nice. I
I'd
love
say
it, dude.
that's a skill that a lot of people struggle with.
Yep. You're totally right. Um, it's funny that like just really quick. So this question, I highly encourage you to use it, especially as you grow your business and you're doing interviewing. As I like scaled up my last startup team and I would go through the interview process, I would always end with this question because it told me so much about a candidate that I was about to bring on my team, like how they think logically, like where's the billboard, and then how they think kind of creatively, what goes on it, and like what they say first. Right? I could tell you're more logical and then you went creative. So it's an interesting tell. So I highly recommend like just trying it out with a few people. Cool question.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I had like the first thought answer instantly, but then I was like, oh, maybe that's kind of cringe or something. And so I thought like,
What was
oh,
it?
you
Okay,
got
now
to
you gotta
tell
tell
me
me.
first.
You gotta
No,
tell me
that
what.
was the one. That was
Okay.
my first one. But I thought like, oh, I should think of something cooler or
Nah, dude,
like
I
a
like it.
better quote or something. But yeah,
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, hey, I know it's late there. I really enjoyed that we could do this together. Thanks everyone for listening to the live stream and the replay. Really happy to have you all here. Aries, thanks, man. Really enjoying working with you. Yeah, let's let it continue.
amazing. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
All right, bye everyone.